Alright guys, I am very sorry about the up close and personal. Camera lady was not here today, so I am going solo. First of all, I goofed up. Two questions that were voted up just were very closely related. It would be redundant to give each one their own video, so we're just going to combine them. I'm going to go back to the video. I'm going to look for a question that's was either very close to being voted among the top questions, or just pick one that I think once we open up is going to yield a lot of awesome information for you guys. So these are the questions that we're going with today. Okay, achieving and maintaining 7 to 10% body fat, reverse 7 to 10% body fat, and I think they referred to it as dere aesthetics, which just means you're gonna be like the lean dude at the gym. You're gonna be about as lean as a lot of our athletes. You know, you're gonna be very lean by everyday standards. The second question was reversing metabolic and hormonal effects, and obviously you're not going to want to hang around 7 to 10% body fat if you're metabolically and hormonally trashed. So let's figure this out. I think first of all, yeah, you're going to have to achieve. Simple enough, right? You're going to have to achieve 7 to 10% body fat before you can maintain it. Not very useful there, but just going to state the obvious. And the next one is minus extreme measures. So what does that mean? That means that ideally you don't want to get to 7 to 10% body fat having done some off-roading on the way there. The more metabolic trauma and hormonal trauma, and even more importantly, often overlooked psychological trauma you cause during your dieting, the harder it is going to be to do what's next, and that's patience on the reverse diet. And reverse diet's a phrase that's commonly thrown around nowadays. It basically just means slowly walking up your calories back up to livable levels. Okay, that is what's going to get you to, I guess, maintain and be a happy camper at the desired body fat levels. However, if you can't stick to the program, it's going to be of no use. And a lot of the folks that I wouldn't say give me crap, but you know, they poke fun at me and they tell me, dude, I could never maintain some of the body comp you can in the off season simply because you know, my body just doesn't agree with that. I think a lot of these folks are folks that come from backgrounds in extreme dieting, you know, extreme methods, and you know, they've gone through some stuff. And sometimes they constantly do, and that's why it's so hard for them to actually stick to a plan that, you know, slowly lets them, you know, get to the desired body fat level, but at a more livable caloric intake. You know, and regardless, it's going to be hard for anyone to bring their calories up slowly, you know, after a long period of you know, I guess being on point. Sometimes that's the last thing you want. However, you will be rewarded if you stick to the program and slowly add your calories, slowly add your carbohydrates back up, and slowly add your fats back up, and take away cardio slowly. A lot of the stuff that, you know, you experience through dieting, the metabolic and the hormonal effects, you know, so much of this, you know, is just your body making budget cuts because it thinks that, you know, you're starving. There's a fathom out there, and, you know, it's going to do what it can to protect you, and it's going to get rid of, I guess, the stuff that's non-essential. For example, a lot of guys who go under who do a contest prep diet and try to achieve, I guess, those elite levels of body fat, quite often, and it's often talked about, they go through swings in their libido where it can be inconsistent, and you know, I guess they lose the beast mode in the gym. So it's very normal. But here's the thing: is that quite often we relate metabolic and hormonal health to body fat. And, you know, I think at this level, 7 to 10% body fat, it's not so much, for most folks, believe it or not, how fat you are, but more so how far removed you are from the traumatic experience, the diet. So if you can stay on point for a few weeks after your diet, I'd say most people after 8 to 10 weeks post-diet, they are pretty much, especially in a diet where you're trying to get to 7 to 10% body fat, you're not going for contest lean, they're pretty much out of the woods. So if you can make it past that point, you're going to be quite shocked as to how you can increase food if you do it slowly, to the point where you're not necessarily putting on any more fat. Some folks even get leaner during this phase, and hormonally you're starting to balance out a bit, and psychologically you're having a better relationship with food and your significant others, and you're going to see that, yeah, it had more to do with just how far removed I am from that experience. Okay, and then of course once you find that threshold where you start gaining, and the goal here is not to gain, obviously, it's to maintain. And as an athlete who goes through gaining and losing phases, obviously that's not my thing. However, I can totally respect that goal, because at some point, that was my thing. So I'm not going to knock it. So you're going to find that threshold, and once you get there, you just cruise around that intake. And we're all going to have very different intakes when it comes to maintaining, a lower end body fat level. But if you're patient when it comes to exiting a diet and bringing up calories slowly, you'd be quite surprised as to just how much you actually can eat to maintain the body comp you desire. So that's it. I'm gonna go through those videos, and I'm gonna pick one, and hopefully I can be of a lot of use to a lot of you guys out there. I've been enjoying this quite a bit, and I don't necessarily pimp out this channel, because it's not what it's about. I want the resourceful folks to come here, the folks that want to learn, and not just learn and don't want to be handed a fish, but they want to learn how to fish. They want ideas to work with. Those are the folks I want here, and I want to thank all those folks who have found this channel and are finding it beneficial to their situation. So thank you.